And the Perth Wildcats, a slow start to the season. They've won only 2 of their first 6 matches, but David Bailey, the new face, certainly is posting impressive numbers. Peter Crawford, a current member of the Boomers squad, and then 3 Olympians in Dylan Boucher, who represented New Zealand, Tony Ronaldson and Paul Rogers for the team coached by Scott Fisher. And Perth brings Sean Redditch, their second American, off the bench. He's their leading scorer at the moment. And Matt Shanahan was the hero last night against his former club, the Hunter Pirates in Newcastle. Let's show you exactly what transpired there. It was a very entertaining affair. Russell Hinder got this shot to tumble, which locked it at 91 apiece at the end of regulation after Hunter had been down by 7. And then Matt Shanahan, who had not hit a shot in the entire match before overtime, peels off 2 threes to drag his team back into the contest. Hunter led by 9 in the first period of overtime, but PC, Peter Crawford, nails the triple that brought a double OT. But that almost didn't eventuate because Helms gets the loose ball here. Brad Davidson for the game winner is rejected by Redditch. A lot of contact there. Referees put the whistle away. We go to double overtime, and then Peter Crawford decided he would join the party as well. And Matthew Shanahan came up with big. And David Bailey, a game-high 31 points, a game-high 8 assists. And he certainly is making things happen for the Perth Wildcats, who had lost their last 5 overtime games in 4 years. Matt Shanahan silenced his former team, though, and Mitch Selwood and the Pirates, they were not happy.
We seen the way the Perth boys were carrying on after the game, so we all took note of that, and we're definitely going to put that in the memory bank for when we play them next, and we were going to really give it to them next time we play them, I can tell.
Well, not too many people will begrudge Perth a win in OT. They haven't won an overtime match for 4 years. Lost to the Melbourne Tigers earlier this season in overtime. They were overdue.
Yeah, and you know what I need to say? Lighten up, Mitch. Come on now. These guys haven't won an overtime game in about a decade, so they're going to celebrate, have some fun. We want some personalities in this league. I know that stings when you lose in double overtime, but let the guys celebrate.
Well, we know Scott Fisher knows how to celebrate. He said it was the craziest game he's ever been involved in as a coach, and certainly he says it's going to boost their confidence coming here to Wollongong.
Absolutely. I mean, the last 2 games, we capitulated at the end of the game against Townsville a couple weeks ago, and then we continued that capitulation in a big way against Melbourne and shot poorly on top of that. And I really do believe it was a mental state. It was a lack of confidence, and last night we fought through it.
They did a very good job. Will they be tired? Well, we're about to find out, because Wollongong, you can expect that they are going to take it right at the Perth Wildcats. And Tony Rampton, who changed from the Cairns Taipans here to Wollongong in the off-season and now leads the league in rebounding, is going to be a big factor in this match. I spoke with him pre-game and asked him if he had tried to set up being the leading rebounder for the season.
Obviously, being one of the only bigs in Wollongong, it's something that Brendan tried to get me to concentrate on. I've been trying to do that. Obviously, the first few games it worked out that way. Yeah, that'd be great if I could hold on to it, but I just want to go out there and try and rebound and help any way I can.
Had a career-high 19 boards against the Sydney Kings back in round 3. Steve, do you think he'll be the leading rebounder at the end of the season?
No, I didn't. Now, Brendan gives him a lot of confidence. He gives him a lot of responsibility, and he's always worked hard. And with that confidence that the coach shows in him and his ability to work hard, that has really given some good things on the glass. He does a great job.
And I'm sure the coach, Brendan Joyce, is going to be happy with the news that the club is going to bring in a new Australian big man to replace Andrew Rice. And we understand that it has been from a benefactor here in Wollongong who has put his or her hand into their own pocket to supply the money to bring a new face to Wollongong. They desperately need some more height.
Yeah, no kidding. That shows some commitment. The thing is, they need another big man, because what if Tony Rampton gets hurt, he gets in foul trouble? They've got nobody big to put in there to replace him, to give him some help on the glass or on the block. So it was definitely something that they needed if they want to contend for a championship. Brendan Joyce is a great coach, and they will win the majority of their games, but seriously, they needed a big man if they want to win a championship.
And speaking of trying to fill big shoes, well, David Bailey fits into that category. He replaces the one and only Ricky Grace, but so far he's been doing a good job for the Perth Wildcats, and Steve spoke to him pre-game and asked him how he was fitting in.
Oh, definitely. The first couple of weeks has been a struggle for me, but, now I'm getting into the groove. My teammates, they're trusting my decision, and they're learning to catch some of the passes I've been throwing. But overall, I'm just trying to cut down on the turnovers a little bit and just fill the role that Ricky did. But I'm not just trying to be Ricky. I'm just trying to do something he did and just help the club win.
Well, 31 points in a game high, 8 assists last night suggests he is going to be a great player in this league. Are you going to tip Perth, though, to win here in Wollongong, Steve?
No, I don't think so. I think that double overtime just took the sting out of their legs. I think Wollongong need this one. It's very important. They don't have a whole lot of people in the gym right now. Wollongong, if you don't win, the people don't come. They know this is important. They got to string a couple in a row together.
The Hawks for Steve. Stay with us. The opening tip of the NBL's round 5 match here from Wollongong coming at you right after this.
For your free broadband modem and free connection for your home, call 0800 00 3040.
Of the Phillips Championships comes NBL matches experience, and working the game with him Graham Clark and Megan Thompson, who will have the job of keeping this under control. One of 3 matches being played tonight in the National Basketball League. Melbourne hosting the Sydney Kings, Adelaide resuming hostilities with the Cairns Taipans, and I expect it to be hostile in Adelaide, and we'll update you with those scores as they become available here in round 5 of the National Basketball League. Wollongong 7th on the ladder at the moment. 2 wins from 5 starts and 2-1 here at their home venue. Interestingly, Cortez Groves elected not to speak with us pre-game. He is switched on and no doubt looking for another scalp here as the leading scorer for the Hawks, averaging 23 per game. He scurries after the tip, won by Tony Rampton, and Wollongong working to the left of your screen. The first use of the ball. Ballinger against Ronaldson, goes to Rampton, now Groves. Shot clock to single numbers for Glenn Saville, who's left alone, and he comes up with the first points.
I want to avoid that as much as possible. Glenn Saville's been an outstanding for him, give him a wide open look. It's the smallest things to get a good player just switched on.
Ronaldson against Ballinger, spinning baseline. Good D from Ballinger, worries him out of the points, and he grabs the rebound as well as Campbell pushes it up the floor. Saville thought about the quick release 3, and then his Boomers teammate Peter Crawford stripped him off it, and David Bailey gets some of that medicine as well, loses it out of court, and Wollongong will restart.
Peter Crawford just has outstanding hands, great nose for the ball too. You got to be aware of where he is on the floor all the time, especially on the old glass.
Campbell gets it, guarded by Crawford. Ballinger hands off now to Groves, working against Boucher. Now Ronaldson switches over. Single numbers on the shot clock. Ronaldson lost him. Groves couldn't finish it off, and now it's Glenn Saville trying to keep it alive, but unsuccessfully.
How was that shaken crossover by Cortez Groves? Man, I bet Tony Ronaldson needs to check his ankle tape. Might have a split in it. You see the good hustle by 2 Australian Boomer teammates.
Pressure up the floor from Wollongong, looking to deny David Bailey possession. He's going to need some help. Crawford to restart. Ronaldson there as well, but they get it to Bailey. Smallest man in the National Basketball League in terms of height, as Boucher looks down low where Paul Rogers is operating against Rampton. Looks to go to work against the Kiwi centre and comes up with the goods. The Perth Wildcats open their scoring account after 90 seconds.
See, that's a big man. You're going to have to send a double team down, and that allows you to get closeouts and shot opportunities.
Groves working the baseline. Stepped out of court, according to referee Ian Watts, which saved a whistle for a foul to be called on Paul Rogers. Bailey works it to Crawford, guarded by Matt Campbell. Again, they get the big man involved, Rogers. Marches over the top of Tony Rampton, who's called for the foul.
There's just no way he can handle him one-on-one on the blocks. And then you overplay that hook shot, and he just fakes and steps up and under. You got to send somebody. And I'm sure Wollongong will make that adjustment.
Here's Boucher against Glenn Saville. Looking for Rogers, batted out of court. 22 on the shot clock for Perth. Rogers has had a slow start to the season, averaging 10 points and 6 rebounds.
Not playing a great deal of minutes, is he?
No, 25 minutes in average as Ronaldson nails the triple to give Perth the lead for the first time. But he does, or has had, some injury problems, primarily with his back and also just some issues regarding his right knee. Saville works at the Ballinger, operating down low, can't finish it off, and Tony Ronaldson grabs the rebound. Outlet pass for Boucher, the defensive specialist, wants to go to work on Groves. Crawford inside Campbell, reaching him. Ballinger is called for the foul. It's the second on Wollongong. Perth are yet to commit.
Good dribble penetration initially by Boucher, sorry. Ballinger with the foul. But that's a chain reaction. Dribble penetration, kick and close out. Drive on a closeout, and that's how it happens.
2.5 minutes played, term number 1. Ronaldson gets it from Bailey, works inside. Ballinger back to Bailey, who looks for the penetration, and now camped under the hoop. Here's Boucher taking his time, and a traveling violation is called.
And there's a lot happening in the key. Usually you see that, a turnover with a 3-second call or a travel. That time changed his pivot foot. Couldn't see it on the replay, but he did.
Groves to Glenn Saville. Now Ballinger working on Ronaldson. Edges a little closer to the rack and gets the shot to tumble for his first points.
That's what he needs to do. I mean, he needs to hit his medium range jump shots, but he needs to mix a couple of those in there as well, so he doesn't just fall in love with that jump shot too much.
Rogers looking for Crawford, who's shadowed by Matt Campbell, knocking the ball out of court. 10 on the shot clock. Speaking to Adam Ballinger pre-game, he's getting married in March to an Australian girl that he met in Melbourne when he was playing with the Victoria Giants. And maybe a naturalised player in the future, which would make him a very handy commodity. As Rogers takes a whack in the mouth, has his points waved away.
What a pass, too. Just whistled that thing to him. Look at that thing. Just fired to him. Hands in there by Cortez. Hawks knew they were in trouble on that one. Big fella catching it that close.
Ronaldson hands off to David Bailey and gets it back from the top of the key. Off the front of the rim. Rogers getting after the ball. Can't retrieve it, however, and Wollongong will get possession. Rogers presenting problems already for Wollongong. Groves retreating away from David Bailey. Composed at the moment. Shot clock works its way down now to 10 as Groves goes solo and unsuccessfully on it. And Bailey past Campbell, has support up the floor, goes hard to the rack, takes them on, can't finish it, but draws another foul, the 4th on Wollongong. He will go to the free throw line.
He's fearless. Goes up strong, takes the contact, gets that left hand free for a chance at the N1. That was impressive.
Bailey 7 of 11 at 64% coming into round 5 in the National Basketball League. So not a strong suit of his from the charity stripe, but most other things are. 17 points per game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists to be 3rd in the league. Leads the league in steals, averaging 3 per game. There's also top 3 in the league in turnovers as well. And in fact, we have 4 of the top 6 players in terms of turnovers in this match. Bailey and Peter Crawford for Perth, and Cortez Groves and Glenn Saville for Wollongong. So don't be surprised if the turnover count is a little high in this one. It's Perth by a point. Almost 4 minutes played. Term number 1, Troy Pillen into the match. Ballinger gets a seat, and Groves fires from the top of the key and comes up with a triple.
When he was in Argentina, he had a teammate that shot the ball extremely well, also had a great work ethic, and he took a lot of pointers from him. He shoots the ball much better than he did the last time he was here. Great block.
Troy Pillett going to Glenn Saville. Top of the key, Campbell to Groves against Ronaldson. Now retreating where Campbell fires the triple. It's off the money. Crawford grabs the rebound. Boucher is available. The pass had a little too much on it though. And that is disappointing for Dylan Boucher in Perth. He doesn't provide a lot of scoring, Boucher, and to get a cheapie early in the match just might get him going. Exactly. This is a tremendous thing for your confidence. Get a couple of cheapies rewarded for good hustle. Groves against Bailey, elevates, little deep with the three. Saville keeps it alive with the offensive rebound, first in the match. And Groves to Rampton. Rogers stands off him. Saville getting close attention from Boucher, couldn't hit the target. Loose ball scooped up by David Bailey. Perth come running again. Rogers down low against Rampton. Has had his hands full so far. Nice pass to Ronaldson, who was lurking even closer to the basket for the finishing touches. Just a little confusion right there as they were trying to think about whether they're going to switch that baseline screen. Groves to Rampton, working close to the hoop against Rogers, who forces him to turn down the shot. Campbell to Glenn Saville. 8 on the shot clock for him as he drills the three. 6 in the match now for Saville. He leads it individually. Ronaldson at the other end, though, is creating all sorts of problems as he knocks down the shot. Chance at a three-point play. Ronaldson with 7 in the game to take over as the high scorer. Ronaldson very good still at getting those low catches. It's very difficult when your defense is not set. He just plants himself about 2 feet away from the basket. That's a big butt to get around once he's got that thing propped up against you. And Tony's father, John, is celebrating his birthday today. The Bear asked me to send his best, although he doesn't know how old he is. But his dad, tremendous AFL player. That's why Tony's wearing the number 2 in his career now. Happy birthday, John. Whatever number it is. This is Groves getting another good look, and he is awfully dangerous when that happens. 23 points per game Groves is averaging. And he is getting the job done now. 6 in the match so far. Less than 6 minutes out from quarter time. Sean Redditch, leading scorer for the Wildcats, averaging 21 per game. Goes to Rogers, got Rampton in the air, went back to the baseline and made a tough shot tumble. Wildcats 5 of 8 from the field at 63%. As Saville got past Redditch, confronted by Rogers, who goes down, but no whistle supplied. Groves for the triple. Man, his stroke looks that much better. Just saying that because he's knocked a couple down. Remember when he was first year in the league, he had different release points. He wouldn't go straight up. He looks good on every jumper. Peter Crawford can't connect at the other end, and Redditch coming in over the back of Cortez Groves is called for the first foul on Perth in this opening term. Already, the Wollongong Hawks have committed 5 fouls and are in the bonus situation. That was a push. 4-point ball game in favor of the Hawks. 5 minutes to play, term number 1. Hawks by 4. The pass from Groves was ambitious. It spills to the truck, Troy Pillett, who finds Rampton ready to go, and he comes up with his first basket. 6-point lead now. The Hawks have scored the last 5 to give us the biggest buffer in the match so far. As Bailey threads the needle to Rogers. Quick release is all the bottom of the net. Rogers now 3 of 4 from the field. Boy, he is really working hard to get himself in a good position to get those catches and finishing well. Campbell to the top of the key. Firing unsuccessfully. Troy Pillett after it again and retrieves it for Wollongong. Saville takes it from Campbell. Guarded by Ronaldson. Fancies his chances as he lost it under pressure from Peter Crawford, who gets it back from Redditch, takes Campbell on, couldn't get it over the front of the rim, and Groves did a good job dancing on the baseline to keep that alive. Saville firing is off the money, ran to the OR but couldn't finish. finish it off, and now Redditch. And a foul is going to be called on the Wollongong Hawks, Troy Pillen. Free throws to come now for the Perth Wildcats.
Watch Rogers away from the ball here. He's very active, steps him and walks him in, gets himself some good position. Nice spin move to the baseline. Whenever you're a big man, it's just so important how you set yourself up, you know, for those low catches. You can't always depend on people giving you the ball in the right. You got to set yourself up, get yourself in that right position on a number of occasions, and then the guys have numerous targets that they can throw into, and you'll have a good night.
Truck gets a rest on the bench as Sean Redditch goes to the free throw line. Been impressed with his numbers so far this season.
That must have been a really blatant call for them to make that one, because Perth had numbers. Normally they'll let that go and say it's the advantage.
Ben Castle into the match, going to Campbell. Crawford gave him some latitude. Campbell hesitated, the moment was gone. Glenn Saville fires over the top of Rogers, and he comes up with the goods. The Hawks continue to pile on the points from deep here. They're 6 of 9 from long range. Perth are 1 of 2.
They have been wide open too. Wollongong doing a good job of throwing that extra pass to get their teammate even more open.
Sonny Rampton knocking the ball out of court as Matt Shanahan prepares to check in for the Wildcats. He was the three-point specialist who dragged them across the line against the Hunter Pirates last night in Newcastle. And with Wollongong nailing 6 of 9 threes here in the first period, they need some of that Shanahan magic, Steve.
Yeah, they sure do. What a valuable player to bring off the bench with all that experience. You know, he's not old. He's just played in the league for a long time, and he can play about 3 different positions.
Here's Redditch marching into the paint. Rampton worried him out of the points and got the quick release pass out to Groves, who has Capehorn in support. Groves goes solo, draws a foul, and will go to the free throw line.
Super hesitation move. The fact that he's been banging the J, Matty Shanahan had to respect the fact that he could pull up on the break for the 3.
Groves has only been 62% from the free throw line this season as well. 18 of 29 coming into this match. And Brendan Joyce receiving the good news today that he will be supplied with another big Australian player to help out why Andrew Rice is injured. And the margin now out to 7, the biggest that we've seen in the match. Hawks again have scored 5 without reply here. As Liam Rush checks into the game, goes to Redditch, who had some space but then had it shut down by Groves. Here's Bailey against all sorts of traffic to Rush from close range. He gets onto the score sheet very quickly.
Bailey goes to the hole hard, and he's very aware of where his targets are once he gets into the paint.
Here's Groves getting the 3 off quickly but unsuccessfully. Redditch had a piece of it. Ben Castle with a foot on the line as he tried to control it, and Perth will get possession.
When Perth are in that zone, they have to identify who are the shooters, or who are the guys that are shooting the basketball with confidence.
Rush to Bailey, the 24-year-old. Now Redditch a little closer to the hoop, caught the front of the rim. Wollongong get possession here. As Groves works to Capehorn, who had a foot on the line, according to referee Graham Clark. It was right in front of coach Brendan Joyce, but he's not convinced.
Well, Brendan's standing right there, but his foot is all over the line. He caught the basketball, and he was on it. You know, very rarely is an official going to call the ball out of bounds when it's not. That's one I don't think I've ever seen him miss.
Liam Rush, guarded by Groves, wants some help. Ronaldson banging bodies with Rampton, and now has Rush available. He stepped out of court as well.
That happens in Graham Clark's area as well. He had the first call over there by Brendan Joyce.
Brendan Joyce bringing Kieran Gleeson onto the floor. Less than 2 minutes out from quarter time. Rampton getting a rest. only Groves and Saville on the floor in terms of starters for Wollongong at the moment. Ronaldson, the only starter on the floor for Perth as they go for the alley-oop. It comes unstuck. Shanahan leads the charge. Rush to the right. Gets it next, and then Saville elevating for the monster block.
I thought Shanahan gave that up just a little too early because no one had committed to him.
Liam Rush will restart for the Wildcats, and here's Shanahan. Redditch. Toby, the rookie, for Shanahan. Redditch working baseline to Ronaldson. Rush is left open from long range, can't finish it. They scurry after the offensive rebound. He gets his own, but only kept it alive as far as Groves is going to work on Shanahan to the baseline. He adds another 2. Groves has 13 to lead the match individually, and his team enjoys a 7-point lead. 70 seconds to play, term number 1. Ronaldson wrestling for Kieran Gleeson. Redditch got in the air, was called for the travelling violation when the passing lane was closed.
Watch Saville come from the weak side. He just gobbled that thing up. He might have been able to grab that. See how no one really committed to him. Ben Castle falling over. He wasn't guarding him. Saville wasn't guarding him. He should have taken it at least one more dribble in.
Capel gets it from Gleeson. Shot clock to 7 as Glenn Saville fires over Redditch. He's short off the front of the rim. Ball appeared to be last touched there by Kieran Gleeson, and it will be a Perth ball as Ian Watts provides the overrule. To get a good angle on it there, but Matt Shanahan was speaking his mind with referee Megan Thompson over the call.
Well, if she doesn't see it, she doesn't have a good angle, she should get some help, not just blow it the wrong way.
Shanahan takes Capehorn on. Castle with a good quick hands in there. It spills out of court. 13 on the shot clock. Liam Rush to restart for the Perth Wildcats. Shanahan picking up the dribble. Ronaldson with the rookie Kieran Gleeson to contend with. They supply the double team. Redditch under the hoop, manhandled by the combined resources of Campbell and Ben Castle. And now there's 6 on the shot clock for the Wildcats.
It's a good play, though. It forces them to make a good defensive play.
Ronaldson needs to get busy. Once Redditch involved, he goes to work. And now he will be going to the free throw line as well. None of 3 from the field, Redditch. 2 of 2 from the stripe for his points so far.
That puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Even with Rogers on the bench, they have been able to, on a number of occasions, get low catches with Ronaldson and Redditch.
Wollongong going with a very small lineup here at the moment. What appears to be a 3-guard rotation with Ben Castle and Glenn Saville.
They don't have much choice, Case. You look any further down the end of the bench, you got the Wollongong juniors, Tyson Demos and Eric Cook's son, Dominique. They're really skinny. Not the kids, I mean their roster.
Concluding stages, term number 1. The Hawks by 5 as Ben Castle works inside Ronaldson, kicks it to Saville. Now Groves, the danger man, in traffic. Ball knocked out of his hands. Less than 3 seconds for Wollongong to get something happening here. What an entertaining first period. Campbell gets the shot off with 7/10 of a second to play. Shanahan, even this would be beyond him as he launches it skyward. And at quarter time, the Wollongong Hawks enjoy a 7-point lead. It's Wollongong 28, leading Perth 21 here on Fox Sports.
That's just a confident shot by Matt Campbell. It's like Andrew Gaze always says, a great situation. You catch the basketball, no one second guesses you at all. You got to shoot it and knock it down, and he did. And last week shot it well, and he continues to look like he's shooting the basketball with confidence, even though he's only 1 for 3.
Well, Glenn Saville and Cortez Groves supplying 43 of the 89 points for Wollongong on average, and again they've been the big 2. But let's go to Scott Fisher.
Have a good look, take your time, see see where your spacing is, see what's on before you make a move. There's something for everybody out there. You just got to take time and just relax a little bit offensively. Defensively, look, they're shooting the ball pretty well. We got to make sure we get a hand up on every shooter. That time, I don't know what happened there. You guys probably should have just switched that. I don't know what happened yet. We had 2 on the ball for a second. Just out here, Sav was wide open.
You said an on-ball screen. I was trying to yell switch at you, but you just...
You guys got to be...
I'll be yelling louder next time.
You guys got to feel free to switch from time to time. Follows you in for Tony. And if they have the same group they had out there before, you guard Castle. Guard Ben Castle. It's motion 1 might be good here. You know, they like to switch everything. And the on-ball screens, make sure you big guys are diving hard. Other than that, we haven't run much motion. It's a good motion. We don't have to run the same play every single time. Expect a lot of zone. You guys just work hard, work together, make your cuts hard. Bullet will look very good with Paul in there now.
Let's go, boy. Hey, let's turn it up right here this quarter.
Let's go.
Let's turn it up.
Well, one thing that they need to do is continue to pounding the basketball inside. They're doing a great job getting, like I said, Tony Ronaldson got some close catches, Sean Redditch as well. And like Scott Fisher said, they're just trying to do probably too much too soon when they do catch the ball in there, and wait a little bit for the spacing, see how their defense is going to react. For the most part, they haven't really been double teaming, so the guys have been on their own to be able to make their moves.
The Perth Wildcats, one of only 3 teams in the NBL to change both imports in the off-season. Of course, Rosell Ellis was their MVP last season, and Ontario Lett came in when Rashad Tucker was cut. And now Bailey and Redditch are the 2 imports for Perth. There is talk that Rosell Ellis may be required back in Perth, but at the moment, Wildcats' 2 best players are Bailey and Redditch. It makes it difficult to find room for another one as Benny Castle gets a foot on the ball to knock it out of court. Surprised they're not resetting the shot clock here for the Wildcats. Shanahan finds an opening, and it's Cameron Tovey to Rogers against Rampton. Here's Redditch against the shorter Matt Campbell, feeding Shanahan, and Redditch called for the offensive foul as he collects Glenn Saville.
Well, he had a mismatch on Matt Campbell. He backed him in. You know, why that's a foul. You know, you work your whole half-court offense to get a mismatch like that, a guard on a power forward.
Saville with the ball. Shot clock winds to single numbers now, and Rampton to Ben Castle, who looks to go to work on Liam Rush. Here's Rampton with 2 on the shot clock. Couldn't finish it. Loose ball. Tovey got after it, but coughed it up. And now Wollongong with another opportunity, and here's the danger man, Cortez Groves. Unsuccessful. Saville, the offensive rebound, and a foul is now going to be called on the Perth Wildcats, Matt Shanahan.
Good call, too. She was just going to let it play out, but because he was hammered as he was delivering the pass, the ball shot out of bounds. Watch this. She was just going to let it go as he was trying to pass, and then when it went out of bounds. Good call.
Wildcats committed only 2 fouls in the first term. They've committed 2 fouls here in less than 60 seconds at the start of term number 2. No addition to the quarter time score so far, as Groves is handed the ball by Tony Rampton. Happy to be patient at the top of the key. Glenn Saville with 9 points in the match already goes to work unsuccessfully. Castle got a piece of it. It spills to Matt Shanahan. Liam Rush working hard. And Redditch gets down low as well in that mismatch against Matt Campbell as Rush comes to the top of the key. Now Rogers against Rampton, looks down low where Shanahan is fouled by Cortez Groves. Second personal on Groves.
Just good movement by the Wildcats, and also good spacing too. Cortez not happy with himself. Obviously Brendan not too happy either. Gives him a seat.
Groves does average 4 fouls per game, top 10 in the NBL at the moment. I mentioned that the Melbourne Tigers and Sydney Kings are playing as we speak. Let's update the score for you at quarter time, and Melbourne's undefeated run with 4 consecutive wins is looking a little shaky early on, as the Kings, with the new recruit of Ian Crosswhite, get the job done there in the early stages. Perth opened the scoring here at the start of term number 2, and Rogers is called for the foul. It's the first on him.
Look at this curl cut. Good strong drive to the basket. You got Paul Rogers there. You know, I'd want to, I know you don't want to give him a layup, but I'd want to see Matt Campbell finish a few of those before I start hammering him when he starts to go put the ball on the floor. Obviously, once he gets down that low, he's going to finish on a layup. But I've seen a couple of times where people are just running so hard at him once he puts it on the floor.
8-point lead for the Wollongong Hawks. Biggest margin we've seen so far in the match as Shanahan goes to work on Glenn Saville. Here's Redditch against Ben Castle, who's giving away some centimetres. Redditch down low. Can't get the rhythm on his shot at the moment. Redditch is now none of 4 from the field as Saville goes to Castle and Rampton. With Peter Crawford coming from behind, the whistle was late in arriving. The foul has been called on Peter Crawford.
That's all started by Saville pulling down the board and having the ability to put it on the floor. Boy, he's very good at that. I would say one of the best in the league. We've got a few guys that can do that. We've got Rashad Tucker, got Sam McKinnon, Saville, Catalini. All those guys can pull down their fair share of boards, put it on the floor, and get a break going.
Rampton's averaging 9 free throws per game. Connecting at only 64% on the season. But he's proving a handful with the extra minutes he's getting here in Wollongong, as opposed to the 18 minutes per game he averaged last season in Cairns, where he came up with 7 points and 4 rebounds. Rogers just lost his footing there for the moment and now is fouled by Ben Castle. First foul on him, second on Wollongong in this period.
Did a good job of double teaming. Want to be aggressive on that. Castle felt like he got a lot of ball, but he had done a good job of not making that a very easy pass that he would be able to connect on. Went that little bit too far.
Crawford to Redditch, in turn Bailey, who's dispensed with the headband. Gets it again from Shanahan in traffic, looking for Shanahan, who couldn't handle the pass. Saville will throw this down.
It's those turnovers that he was talking about trying to cut down on. Amazing that he can get into the lane and make so many good things happen with his lack of size, but obviously, like he said, he's had a lack of size his entire life. He's used to it.
Hawks have scored the last 6 points here. Double-figure lead as Rogers goes to work on Rampton, spins to the baseline, steps through, good D from the Hawks. Shot clock expires in the background, but a loose ball. And now a shot clock violation is called on Perth.
Rogers with a good move, just wasn't able to finish it. And Saville on the end of that turnover by David Bailey. Wollongong, when they're rolling, those are the type of things they do. They get the turnover and they make you pay on the other end of the floor. Not just with those point-blank dunks, but hitting shots in transition.
Keep running it and curl and just look at that, all right? Don't just specifically look at it, but just keep looking at it. Yeah.
All right. Let's use the clock here. All right, we'll go 2 swings though. Sav, play it right, coming through. Now, on the second one, if he's open, he's curling, you're popping. All right? If we hit the popper, we can still kick back to Adam. Okay? All right, then you down pick. All right? Okay? We down pick. If you ain't got nothing, I want Rand setting the on ball, wherever he is. All right? But you're in your bailout series. Middle penetration or baseline penetration. Oh. Hey, the defense is big right here. Don't let up on the defense, all right? Right, baby.
Glenn Saville's been just outstanding for them. He's representing his country with the Boomers. Probably the Boomers' best player when they're away. And he's just taken his good form into the season.
think CJ might take issue with that.
Ooh, oh, sorry about that. Boy, that was an oversight. CJ was hooping, wasn't he?
But certainly Glenn Saville was number 2 right behind him. Co-captains of the team at the moment. We might explore that issue a little later because I think there are some serious problems for the Australian team at the moment looking ahead to the Commonwealth Games in terms of big man availability. With 5 on the shot clock for Adam Capehorn, he's got problems of his own. Nice quick step to get a shot off. Thought he was fouled. Referees didn't see it that way. Bailey has Redditch and Shanahan in support, guarded by Glenn Saville. Now Rogers against Rampton. Shows him the rock, gets the double team, lost it under pressure. Matt Campbell got a piece of the action, deflected the ball, and Perth are still looking for their first field goal here in the second period. We've played 3.5 minutes, and Paul Rogers doing a nice job there not to take out our cameraman as well.
Well, he had a little bit of a whinge and then realized, man, I better get back. He got a beat on that one and saved the deuce.
Castle restarts and retreats to Adam Capehorn. 3.5 minutes played, term number 2. Here's Ben Castle in the corner. His shooting this season has been woeful, and there's more evidence of it there. He's 2 of 17 from the field, Ben Castle, as Bailey dances into the paint and is fouled by Adam Capehorn. Intelligent play there from Bailey. That's a move that he's got a good mileage out of, I'm sure, all his career.
That is just a good pump fake. And I tell you what, Adam Capehorn would be mad at himself. Any guy that's like 6'3" and falls for a pump fake when a guy's 5'8", you're not happy.
Here's David Bailey, 173 centimetres and 75 kilos. The next shortest man in the NBL, there were a few of them at 180. He is 7 centimetres shorter than the next shortest player. And only Deborah George at 73 kilos is lighter than David Bailey. At 173 centimetres, Jason Everstein is 216 as the tallest man in the National Basketball League at the moment.
How tall is Damon Lowry?
And Damon Lowry, well, he comes in at 180 centimetres, but he has been known to fudge those figures a little, Steve. Guess we'll never know. The Wildcats with their problems here. They are still without a field goal in this second term. We played almost 4 minutes. They've added only 2 points, both from the free throw line. And luckily for them, Wollongong haven't been lighting it up either. They've managed only 6 points, 4 of those from the free throw line in 4 minutes of play here. Rampton against Rogers. No room for the shot. Releases it to Capehorn, who must get it off quickly. Shot clock expiring. The points are waved away. Waved away after the event. And that was from 2 referees. Megan Thompson and Graham Clark were both of the opinion that this didn't leave his hand quickly enough. The shot clock in the background, though, might suggest otherwise, but not too much complaining from the players.
Now it's close.
Wollongong by 11. As Rogers gets it from Bailey, tried to work it back to him, but Capehorn was up to the challenge. Campbell has Groves in support. That's where the ball goes, and Groves now has 15 in the game.
I like how Capehorn kicks it ahead and lets Matt Campbell make the play. Some guys hang on to that just a little bit too long. That was good timing.
Ronaldson double team. Crawford dangerous, wide open. Yes, the bottom of the net for PC. Only the second 3 of the match for Perth. Wollongong with 6 of 11 from long range in the first term.
That's the first time that Perth adjusted well, added the double team on the post player.
Campbell to Capehorn. Trying to shake Crawford. Found an opening. Can't finish it though. There is Rampton and Rogers going hard at it. Ball last touch by Perth. Wollongong will get it back, but not before Glenn Saville rejoins the play. And there is Paul Rogers getting the last touch on it. 5 minutes played in this second term. Hasn't been pretty so far, but Wollongong are in front by double figures. And that will be good enough for them. Groves with a quick step past Rogers. Now Campbell firing unsuccessfully. Rampton got a piece of it, but it spills to Shanahan. He looks up. Bailey and Crawford were quickly up the floor. And now they look for Rogers with a lob pass. And Ballinger is forced to foul. It's his 3rd personal, and for a team short on big men, that's not a good sign for Wollongong.
That's good position and an excellent touch pass from Peter Crawford. And he was only in that position for a split second. That's why it's so important when a guy works hard and gets himself open for that split second, get him the ball. You can't hesitate. And Crawford does just that there.
Well, Paul Rogers, I queried him pre-game if he had retired from the national team, and he laughed and smiled and said that he hadn't retired but hadn't been selected, so figured that he had been retired rather than retiring himself. But I think if he can regain the form that saw him win the MVP in 2000, then he almost certainly would be a must for Australia at the Commonwealth Games, with so many of our big men. The top 5 that were on the recent international series are not available. Chris Anstey is saying he won't make himself available, and it just does not look good, particularly when you consider there are no great foremen, Australian-born foremen in the league at the moment. So that is something that Brian Gourchian is really going to have to work hard with, along with assistant coach Brendan Joyce, to try and find the players. I guess the level of the opposition involving Scotland and Nigeria and other lesser-known countries might be an opportunity for younger players to come through, but it is a problem. But let's listen to Scott Fisher.
Pardon me? Are you dribbling into that? Well, it'll be up to him. You dribble in?
Either or. I'm going to try and get the ball right there.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. The pick, you said the pick. Okay. Yeah. You dribble into it.
Right.
So actually, ball start, you want to get there, so you start here. So dribble in this way, pick go around, you're going to set this pick, ball come across when we get it swung. All right? Pick down, and if they're switching all that, it may not be on, but this guy will be. So we come back again to the top, look straight down. Defensively, guys, defensively, when we're okay, I think we can pressure the ball, just bother the ball a little bit more. You know, we're starting to stand there, just bother it a little bit. You know, we got to start making them make mistakes. Boys, got to block off.
Wildcats with their hands full at the moment, down by 9 points. And if you are looking for the latest news of any description involving sport, check out foxsports.com.au, the #1 sporting website in the country, or just press the red button for Fox Sports News Active. You can watch the latest highlights, stories and events. We have every base covered. Back underway here, Fiddle Stage is term number 2. 9-point buffer, Saville to Campbell. Now it's Groves measuring the 3, and he is on song tonight. 4 of 7 from long range, Cortez Groves with 18 to lead it individually.
Boy, they are just not rotating well at all. They're double teaming down on the block, Saville. You got to do that, but boy, I tell you what, how many shots does Cortez Groves have to get for you to have him be a priority?
Wollongong over the foul limit again here in the second period, with still 6 minutes remaining. That one was called on Troy Pillen for wrestling off the ball with Peter Crawford. Free throws to come. In fact, Rogers was involved. And there is Pillen catching Paul Rogers and sending the big man to the free throw line.
I think Wollongong, Troy Pillen and Wollongong know that you have to try and check him as a cutter. If he's just allowed to roam down there in the baseline, he's just going to get position that he won't be able to be stopped. Great hustle by Bailey, doesn't come off.
Troy Pillen off and running to Groves. There's been quite a handful for them so far. Now Matt Campbell guarded by Shanahan. Saville looks for Rampton. Bailey got a piece of it, knocked it out of court. 9 on the shot clock now for the Hawks. Wollongong just 3 of 10 from the field in this second period. But they still enjoy an 11-point lead, because Perth have hit just 1 of 3 field goals. We played 6.5 minutes. As Campbell loses it under pressure against the former teammate Matt Shanahan. I guess when you've played in 8 teams in the NBL, you're going to be going to a former home most times. And for Shanahan, it was Newcastle last night, Wollongong tonight.
Yeah, Shanahan has that advantage over a lot of teams.
Tony Ronaldson for the 3. Can't get it to go. Campbell scurries after the rebound. Wildcats still ice cold in offense at the moment. Saville gets it from Campbell. Fires over Crawford, who worried him out of the points, and now Bailey against Groves. Feeds Shanahan. Ronaldson and Rogers were spectating and now finally joined the offense, and that's not going to thrill their coach, Scott Fisher. As Rogers gets the double team to Ronaldson. Shanahan has support. Bailey inside Pillen, confronted by Saville. 4 on the shot clock. They get it to Crawford. Can't finish it. Troy Pillen again wrestling hard with Paul Rogers as Saville feeds Campbell. They've had the answers so far in the match, the Wollongong Hawks, and Matt Campbell, guarded by Crawford, now works it to Rampton. Shot clock to single numbers for Wollongong. A lot of standing around going on in their offensive set as well. Groves to Rampton, didn't really need it. Gets it off under enormous pressure, and the Wildcats get possession. Here's Bailey. Shanahan in support. Did well, and Shanahan is fouled. But that was intelligent play from Bailey. He took a whack to the face as well.
Look at him draw the defense. I'm trying to see where that hit to the mouth occurred. Just got popped pretty good. Hopefully he has a mouth guard in. It doesn't look like it. We talk about, yeah, he got a chipped tooth for sure. We talk about the ability to put the ball on the floor, that one extra dribble. That extra dribble, watch this. This one here, he draws both guys, gets them both in the air. And you got to sell that, because Saville is a very good defender. He's not just going to lunge at you if he doesn't believe you're going to try and finish. So he really did sell it.
Looked as though he may have come down on Glenn Saville's knee with his face there, and that is why he stayed down for some time. Matt Shanahan to the free throw line. Wildcats needed some points production from the stripe, because in this period they are 1 of 5 from the field. We've played 8 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't shoot it real well from the line last night either.
No. Next play.
43%. 54. Wasn't even close.
4 minutes to play in the first half as Castle gets it to Cortez Groves, falling out of court, needed help. Single numbers on the shot clock now for the Wollongong Hawks, who lead by 9. And Groves needs to get busy. The shot clock has expired on both teams already in this period, but Groves has got the answers. He is a one-man. Has 21.
Well, what a tough cover he is.
Dylan Boucher bouncing off opponents and account open.
I want that aggressive physical defense, but you know, when you're in the bonus, a team that's struggling to score, Dylan Boucher's in there. It's good hustle, Ben Castle trying to take the ball, but you really want to put him on the line? You can count the field goals that a team has made in a quarter with 3.5 minutes to go on one hand. You don't want to put them on the line. They are struggling.
Wildcats 6 of 10 from the free throw line in this period. Dylan Boucher gets his scoring underway. It's still a double-figure lead. 3 and a bit minutes to play until half-time. Hawks holding sway. They started this term leading by 7. Now Boucher and Glenn Saville getting friendly. Perth over the limit in terms of fouls. Dylan Boucher does have the ability to get under opponent's skin.
I like that.
Hey, I'm talking
from
to
both
him.
of them.
That's enough. And that's enough. Understand? You trash talk and technical foul, end of story, all right? Then you check.
David Bailey getting into it as well, said, knocked my tooth out.
Saville continues to build impressive numbers as well. He has 13. Groves has 21 between them. They have 34 of the 44 that Wollongong have come up with. But between the two of them, they've outscored Perth so far. As Ronaldson gets the double team. The defensive pressure from Wollongong has been very effective here in the first half. As Saville keeps it alive to Billen, looking to draw a foul on Boucher and unlucky not to get a whistle. Eventually he did. And the 2 will count. Chance of a 3-point play.
See, that is just a guy that is just going to try and make something happen. Perth asking for a travel, but he is just going to put his head down and play hard and make you do something spectacular to stop him. So Brendan puts him in there. He's not there to be passive. You know, sometimes it doesn't go so well and he yanks him right back out. Man, something happens every time he's on the court.
Crawford for the long-range triple, and boy, did the Wildcats need that. Their second field goal here in this period. Played more than 9 minutes, but they trailed by an even dozen. As Pillen goes to Castle, guarded by Crawford. Against Ronaldson, Pillen shares it again with Ben Castle. Crawford keeping him honest. Shot clock to 5 as Saville elevates unsuccessfully, and Boucher with the rebound. Bailey against Groves and others. Works into the paint once more and is going to the free throw line once more. 2 of 4 from the stripe so far. Wildcats are 14 of 19 from the free throw line and just 9 of 23 from the field.
Put it on the floor and, you know, really kind of milking those fouls as well, and milking the contact, letting the referees know that he is getting bumped. You got to do that when you're in the bonus. Make your free throws. You know, if you're going to draw the foul, you see the Shane Heals, the Ricky Graces, and the Andrew Gazes know when their team is in the bonus, you got to can them.
He gets his own rebound. Now Redditch working on the shorter Pillen, goes to Boucher, who's clubbed by Kieran Gleeson. Was called legit though by the referee, so Wollongong rush back up the floor. A lead by 12 as we move inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. Bailey caught in a mismatch here with Pillen. Plenty happening off the ball, and the foul called on Bailey. Free throws to come again. First on Bailey, and Troy Pillen will go to the free throw line.
Well, Wollongong weren't even looking at Troy Pillen. I thought that was odd because he hadn't sealed.
Don't hang on to the big guy.
Usually the small guy can get away with that. Shane's still giving me a hard time about Troy Pillen's action. I said that, you know, he can hit that shot when he's open. He hit a 3, and then the very next shot was a 20-footer. He missed it by 6 feet. And he was wide open. Shane will rub it in when he's right, too.
And we look forward to Shane getting involved on NBL Wrap, which recommences this Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. Terrific interview that he conducted with Andrew Bogut. And all the bells and whistles with NBL Wrap coming your way Thursday night. And as Matt Campbell checks in, Ben Castle sits down. 1:42 to play in the first half. Both teams over the limit in terms of fouls. Bailey to restart with 11 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. And Ronaldson gets it a long way from the rack. Ronaldson yet to score in this period. Redditch goes to work, and an offensive foul is called on Redditch. Glenn Saville backpedaling. Didn't appear to have position.
Man, that was... Well, I don't like that whole you don't have to hit the guy in the middle of the chest, because that just allows the guy to get hit about 4 centimeters into his body and throw his body back on the ground and get those calls. I think that's garbage.
And Redditch is having a very quiet time. He came in averaging 21 points per game, top 10 in the league. He's none of 4 from the field. 4 of 4 from the stripe for his only points in the first half. And it's Wollongong by 12. How much petrol is left in the tank for Perth after their double OT win in Newcastle last night? Saville with 8 on the shot clock, guarded by Ronaldson, needs to get busy. Here's Pillen against Rogers, who stayed at home. Good work from Crawford over the back. Shot clock expires on Wollongong for the second time in this period. David Bailey goes to Crawford. Now Rogers. Redditch joining in. Ronaldson gets it next. Shot clock works to 10 as Bailey looks for some penetration. Capehorn and Saville stripped him of possession. Now Saville at the other end to Campbell. Excellent D being played by Peter Crawford. I'm not sure where Graham Clark has come up with this one. It's called on Crawford. Free throws to come. That angle a little inconclusive, but certainly from the angle that I'm sitting at, it doesn't appear to be a whole lot wrong with Peter Crawford's defence. Graham Clark a lot closer to the action and more than 100 NBL games experience. And Matt Campbell to the free throw line, where he's 2 of 2 so far in the match.
He's had goals before, but on that time there, he jumped in the 2 foot.
Peter Crawford continues to argue the point with Graham Clark. The Wildcats are down by 14. As Ronaldson gets it from Redditch, goes to Shanahan, just not getting enough in their offense at the moment. 2 of 7 from the field in this period. Shot clock again to single numbers, and Saville got plenty of fall there, but overdid it a little. Picks up his 3rd foul. Already Ballinger has 3, along with Cortez Groves. And more free throws to come. It's 16 fouls to 11 overall. Wollongong leading that count. Crawford making his first trip to the free throw line as Saville sits down to prevent any further problems in terms of late fouls in the match here, with 31 seconds left on the clock. And Scott Fisher with plenty to ponder at the moment. Of course, the Wildcats are without Matthew Burston, who again has a foot injury, stress fracture with his right foot. Wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he will be back in harness next month for the Perth Wildcats. As Campbell fires against Crawford and knocks down the shot as well. Only his 2nd field goal of the game, but it's good enough to give his team a 14-point lead as we head toward half-time. Last play, and Shanahan has Rogers down low, couldn't handle the pass under pressure from Rampton, and now Wollongong will get another opportunity. Wildcats restricted to 16 points in this period as Pillen looks to go coast to coast, takes the ball on, couldn't finish it with a tip-in, tumbles for Tony Rampton right on the half-time buzzer, and the Wollongong Hawks close out the half in impressive fashion. They scored the last 4, and at the major break they enjoy a handy 16-point lead. Here's the tip-in from Rampton from close range, got it off just in time, and at the major break it's Wollongong 53 leading the Perth Wildcats 37 here on Fox Sports.
We get the boat. Get the boat! It was the perfect vacation.
Try something?
Until
we're gonna be rich people.
Tens of millions. They came across an ancient treasure.
That's up. It is UGLY for the Wildcats. 9 field goals in the first half. That is terrible. They're shooting at 38% from the field. Wollongong at 41%. The Hawks really haven't had to do a lot in offense because at the moment Perth are just putting no scoreboard pressure on them.
Yeah, no kidding. 9 for 24. I knew it was ugly. I didn't know it was that ugly. And like I said, you got to give Wollongong a lot of credit for how tenacious they are on the defensive end of the floor. They're sticking to their rules, and everybody that comes into the game is on the same page.
None of 7 from the field in terms of 2-point shots there for Perth in that second period. Let's tell you about the high scorers in the match so far. And it goes without saying that there isn't going to be too much to look at from Perth point of view. Cortez Groves had 13 in the first term, has 21 at half-time. He and Glenn Saville have dominated Wollongong scoring all year. Remembering Wollongong are the lowest scoring team in the competition at the moment, averaging only 89 per game. But they at the moment have 6 scorers, and the Perth Wildcats, they have 8 scorers at the moment, but 8 points is the high scorer. And Ronaldson had all his 8 in the first period. Peter Crawford had all his 8 in the second period, and Paul Rogers 6 in the first, 2 in the second, for a combined tally of 8 as well. But that does not make good reading if you're a Perth Wildcats fan.
No, it doesn't. I like how patient Wollongong are. Even though, say, Matt Campbell, who was hot in that game last week against the Bullets, he's been very patient in this one. You get that one extra pass, get it to Cortez Groves or to Saville, and those guys are knocking it down, and that's why they've got this sizable lead right now. They're just not anxious. Sometimes that happens when you have a hot game, when you haven't had one in a while. You get back into the next game, you want to be just as hot, but that hasn't happened. Matt Campbell's been good.
And Glenn Saville's also been good for the Wollongong Hawks, coming off the international campaign where he provided good numbers, growing in confidence, and he is very dangerous trying to contain him, Steve.
He sure is, and there's that one extra pass. Matt Campbell turns the corner, finds Saville, and Saville just is confident. He's shooting the basketball well, plus if he's not clicking on all of his jumpers, he has the ability to do other things like that. Throw that one out of bounds. Defensively, one of the better, he's the best shot blocker that the Wollongong Hawks have. Very versatile, great defender, as he has been the best defender in the competition. So the thing is, he does all those things, and then he's rewarded. His teammates look for him. He's doing it offensively, defensively, and he really is a team leader. He's got a little nasty streak in him too, as David Bailey found out.
Well, we just have to get Glenn Saville to work on the dunk as well. He's so athletic. He needs to do better than that with a finish.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll have to have a word to him.
Well, let's have a look at Cortez Groves in action, because he has been lighting it up here. He appears to be a better player than when he was playing in this league 3 seasons ago, and that's saying something, Steve.
Look at his stroke. I mean, he just elevates, goes straight up and straight down. He gets it in the shooting pocket the same way. I spoke to him before the game. He said he worked really hard on his jump shot while he was away. He didn't have a whole lot to do outside of basketball in Argentina when he was playing over there, and it was his jump shot that he worked on. Now, the thing is, when you are that quick and explosive and a scorer like he is, to have his jump shot clicking, that really means it gives him an area. Watch him create some space for himself here. You gotta give him respect for the fact that he is so quick and can blow by you, that when he has his jump shot going, you have to give him that extra cushion. That's why it seems like guys aren't guarding him enough when he's able to pull up for the J.
Tony Rampton involved in a very good battle at the moment against Paul Rogers a few seasons ago. You wouldn't have thought that Rampton could go with Paul Rogers, but he's mixing it up with a big man and getting certainly his fair share.
Well, Rampton has been healthy, and Brendan Joy shows a lot of confidence in him, so every game he seems to get better. So probably a player where he couldn't match up against last year. It's a different story this year. He's doing a great job. He can work with anybody, and he just feels a little more comfortable and a little more confident, and he has a little more balance, and he just believes himself a little bit more. Knock a couple of shots down to go with all those effort things that he's always done well.
Well, tough times for the Perth Wildcats, but their coach Scott Fisher has been kind enough to join us here at halftime. And Fish, big problems here at halftime, just 9 field goals in the first half.
Yeah, that first, that last 3 minutes really hurt us. I thought we had a chance to close the gap, which would have been nice, but the defense hasn't been too bad. Offensively, 14 turnovers. That's the real key there. And I think a lot of them have just been bad decisions. We haven't been strong enough in the post. We are getting to the foul line a lot, which is something we like. But we also like to be double teamed. We're usually a little bit smarter than that. I think we're just a little overexcited on the offensive end.
All right, Scott, appreciate your time there. The Perth Wildcats have a good record at this venue. They are 15-15 against the Hawks here, but they have to dig themselves out of a 16-point hole here at halftime, and we'll have the second half for you in just a moment.
My heart goes out to baseball players. Such a dangerous sport. I once saw this guy get hit in the leg with a ball. It must have hurt, because he was limping.
NASCAR, every round of the Nextel Cup, live and exclusive, Sky Sports.
17 Grand Prix, 39 riders and plenty of mud and guts. The dirty renegades of motorsport on two-wheeled, super-powered projectile.
Lead for Wollongong, Graham Clark enjoying the joke there. Well, he's good pal, Steve Carfino. The Hawks get us underway. Term number 3. Perth came up with a miraculous escape against the Pirates last evening. They'll need another one here. David Bailey looking to get to work early. Boucher to Rogers. He thought he was fouled. Rampton thought that Rogers had fouled him and no whistle was provided. Shot clock down to 10. Rogers lost control of the ball. Wollongong pick up the scraps through Matt Campbell. Now it's Ballinger playing with 3 fouls to Saville. Campbell against Boucher with a shot clock winding to single numbers. Now Rampton to Saville. Lots of standing around in the offense as Campbell comes off the front of the rim. And Bailey, his quicks get him up the floor very fast indeed, but teammates are sometimes left behind as Tony Ronaldson knocks down the 2. His first score since quarter time.
Boy, they can always go to that. You know, if he has the ability to come off of a ball screen, if they don't double team that thing aggressively, he can get into the lane and find an open shooter.
Ballinger to Cortez Groves. Shot clock to single numbers for the Wollongong Hawks as Groves works on Bailey, elevates effortlessly, but it's Boucher there with a clean-up rebound. Bailey has Rogers in support here, attracted plenty of attention. Now gets it back from Paul Rogers. Boucher was the intended recipient. He stole it back from Saville and helps himself to the 2. Staying with it, Boucher is rewarded with his first field goal. Back-to-back baskets to start the second half for Perth. The crowd a little quiet here at the moment. Almost 2 minutes played in the second half. First foul of the third period has been assessed on Dylan Boucher.
The quick hands of Dylan Boucher. Look at that. Saville just a little lackadaisical with it. And you cannot be anything close to that when that man is in the vicinity.
Groves restarts. Ballinger against Ronaldson, wants to get a little closer to the hoop. Ballinger just 1 of 2 from the field. Here's Crawford with Campbell to beat, who rushes at him hard. Got plenty of value there, prevented the basket, so Crawford will earn these from the free throw line. He's 2 of 2 so far from the stripe.
Matt Campbell with his first personal foul, so he's not in foul trouble. And hey, why not? Put him to the line. Team struggling to get a field goal. Make him earn it from the stripe.
Crawford to the free throw line. We saw him come up with a career high 32 in January this year. Home to Melbourne, hit 6 threes in that match. So far this season, Crawford's 20 points last night, where he also hit 6 threes, is his high. Wollongong, an 11-point lead. Just need to steady the ship here as Saville works on Boucher to the baseline. Lost control of the ball under pressure. Rampton retrieves it. Needs to fire. Does so unsuccessfully. Bailey knocked out of the rebounding equation, but Crawford picks up the ball. Gets it in the Bailey direction. Here's Rogers with a good steal on Rampton and got it off quickly. The Wildcats have scored the last 7. They are now within 9 points of the Wollongong Hawks.
Yeah, you can just feel it. Saville tries to turn the corner and get his jump shot off. He's a little frustrated. Matt Campbell needs to hit this one.
Couldn't do so. Loose ball grabbed by Boucher. Crawford goes down off the ball. Manhandled by Tony Rampton. And Crawford is called for the foul.
That was so late. I wonder why it was so late. Get another look at it here. As Rampton just throws Crawford down and he gets called for the foul.
Scott Fisher looking for an explanation now from referee Megan Thompson. But on the visual evidence just provided there, it's a hard one to fathom.
I'd love to hear that one.
White ball.
Get another look at it. Man, oh my goodness.
Well, 3 minutes played here in term number 3. Wollongong yet to add to their half-time tally. Perth have reeled off 7 in that time frame. As Saville spins baseline, shut down. Here's Rampton, now Caporn. Shot clock to 10 as Saville goes to work and breaks the trap.
He's gotten so much better at that. Just hits that thing. So much more consistency.
Rogers in traffic. Look at the pass to Ronaldson, who from close range overcooked it. Caporn did well to elude Crawford there. Now brings Wollongong back up the floor. As Rampton gets involved at the top of the key. Campbell with his hands full against Crawford. Here's Saville in a mismatch with Rogers. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock to 7. Pillen goes back to Saville, who wants the baseline. Ronaldson knocks it out of court. Wollongong with 3 on the shot clock.
Tony Ronaldson slides laterally. He's so deceptive. He can guard what looks like a much quicker player.
Here's Caporn turning around with the shot clock expiring in the background and knock down the shot. His first points in the game. Bailey, who is none of 1 from the field, is having a very quiet night. Ronaldson at the top of the key, starting to get enthusiastic about his work.
And Perth just taking some pride here. They're digging down. Wollongong aren't doing anything special, and Perth are just coming out and looking a little more confident even after Wollongong hit a shot.
Caporn top of the key, feeling it now, and drops the triple as well. 5 in the game for Adam Caporn. Had 5 last week against Brisbane and a game high 7 assists, which is his season best. And here he is with the active hands again. Peter Crawford getting no love from the referees at the moment. And at half-time in Melbourne, the Sydney Kings well on top of the Tigers. 15-point lead. CJ Bruton with 17 points, and the new recruit, Ian Crosswhite, yet to score in the match and has picked up 3 fouls. His battle against the big man Chris Anstey to tip in. Excellent work from Rogers, who looks like a man on a mission at the moment. Megan Thompson with a hands full again, this time from Brendan Joyce.
She's confident on both ends. They'll stand somewhere around, right around the middle of the court, neutral ground.
Almost 5 minutes played, term number 3. Caporn gives it up to Saville. Looking for a screen from Pillen. Marches over the top of Crawford. And Caporn is lighting it up here at the moment. 8 points in this period for Adam Caporn. It's his best spell in the season.
He just looks so comfortable out there, whether he's running a point or playing the 2 guard and spotting up.
Boucher against Pillen. Wants Ronaldson involved. Double team, reaching in. Matt Campbell called for the foul. His second team foul on Wollongong in this term.
You know, I think that when you get away with a grab or a push or a bump right there, may have gotten away with something there. You know, you need to lay off a little bit for a couple of seconds, because the next one you're going to get called for.
Boucher beyond his range to Ronaldson, who looks for the give and go. Ball deflected out of court by Wollongong. 19 on the shot clock. 6.5 minutes to play, term number 3. David Bailey yet to hit a field goal in the match. Here's Rogers. Couldn't get Rampton in the air. Ronaldson top of the key. Fires unsuccessfully, and Caporn involved at both ends at the moment, making things happen for the Wollongong Hawks. Back to a 15-point lead after Perth had closed to within 9, and now Campbell turns around and knocks down the shot.
How patient has he been? You know, he's only got 3 field goals, but he just hasn't taken a bad one yet. He hasn't rushed anything.
Crawford in the corner, firing the triple and nonchalantly coming up with the goods as well. Double figures now for Crawford. He joins Ronaldson and Rogers as the high scorer for Perth. 21 from Cortez Groves leads the match individually. As Pillen looks for Rampton, the pass cut out by Ronaldson. Now Bailey, can he get his first field goal of the match? Took them on, couldn't finish it. Rogers in over the back of Troy Pillen, but Wollongong will get possession.
Good hustle. You know, Bailey doing a good job of exploring on the break. Good no call there with all that contact. He was the one that was forcing the contact. Defense was retreating. Good no call, good hustle. Just want to see Perth get a couple of stops and get this thing a little more interesting.
Another match being played tonight at quarter time in Adelaide. The 36ers enjoy a double-figure lead against Cairns, 39-28. Adelaide with their highest scoring quarter of the year and close to the best all season, which is held by Cairns, who got 40 against Townsville in round 2. Campbell can't finish that. Rogers gets a piece of it. Now Bailey having to work past teammate Peter Crawford as well. A long night at the office for David Bailey as Ronaldson gets it against Rampton. Wollongong clogging up the paint, and the active hands of Glenn Saville are going to come up with a finish at the other end. He only just got it to go though. Timeout called by Scott Fisher. 16 points the margin, less than 5 minutes out from three-quarter time. This is where we started this period. So their good early work has come undone here with Wollongong starting to reassert their authority. Saw Crawford collide off the ball there with Capehorn. Saville's definitely got to need to work on that finish, Steve.
Definitely. Man, he's all alone. He did a little squeak dunk that time. He just cracked the egg.
The other guard's going to get this. Going to get 2 guards on one side for an open shot.
Yeah, but can you dunk?
I want you to bring the ball, all right? Ball's a sign, okay? So it doesn't matter whether it's Matty or Sam. We come off. Circle 2, right? So if you've got a shot, Sam, you take it. Then you're off here in the corner, right? Now, Balls, when you make that pass, Matty, okay, Balls, you got to get out of there quick. I want you to get here. All right, you're flashing, we hit balls, you got a jumper, or you're looking opposite, all right? Now, on that, we got X cuts, okay? All right, so you're just pulling that guy, spreading it, okay? We got it. So if it's a man, swing it non-ball or put it in the corner non-ball. All right, it's a great play against either zone or man. Hey, the defense is back. Hey, let's put him away, don't let him back in it. Let's put him away.
Looks like Adam Capehorn has arrived in this league. Shot clock winding down. These are big buckets. First trying to make a run right there, and Capehorn comes up with 3 huge shots. He's got 8 points, but they have all been timely buckets, and not just his shooting. He has been a floor leader out there. He's defended well. He looks very comfortable after a couple of years of looking like he was very nervous, looking like he wasn't enjoying his basketball at all. It was like pulling teeth, but now he's got more of a role. It just seemed as if Darnell was going to play 40 minutes every night, and he just couldn't get any kind of rhythm out on the floor. But now he's getting the minutes, and it's really paying off.
Less than 5 minutes out from three-quarter time. Perth down by 16. As Crawford looks for Ronaldson. Shot clock now to single numbers. Redditch gets involved. Bailey. Crawford firing the long-range 3 and adding the goods as well. 4 of 5 from long range. Crawford has 15 points in the game.
Wollongong just can't put these guys away. They've hit some big shots as well to stay in it.
Campbell works inside Bailey. Has Ballinger working the baseline. He's still looking for his second field goal in the match as Redditch gets upstairs for the nice finish under pressure as well. 5 points scored by the Wildcats here as they close to within 11. Campbell from close range couldn't finish it. Ballinger with an opportunity, surrounded. Rampton fouled by David Bailey. His second personal. 3rd team foul on Perth in this period.
I don't know what he's so upset about. He's got a lot of harm.
Just hasn't had any luck at all. All the 50-50 calls have gone against him in this match. It's been so impressive so far. Bailey last night, 31 points to lead his team. Came up with 22 against the Razorbacks to lead his team. And in 4 of the 6 matches he's played in this year, he has led the match in assists.
No doubt, Case, the brother can hoop. No doubt about that. Doesn't have great numbers tonight. It's been one of those games. You know, throws a nice pass off, gets a tooth knocked out of his He wasn't too happy about that one. A couple of calls don't go his way, but he really hasn't missed a lot of opportunities. He's done a good job of distributing the basketball to his teammates. Gives it up early. Sometimes a guy that gets a lot of assists tends to hang on to it a little too long trying to get that assist, but he gives it up nice and quick. I like that.
Tony Rampton to the free throw line. Yeah, he's 2 of 2 at the moment. Wollongong 11 of 13 from the free throw line. Perth 17 of 25.
They're saying he hasn't missed tonight. Ooh, 2 solid free throws. I'm telling you, he just looks like a different player. Just confidence-wise, and anybody that plays this game knows it's a confidence game, and he's looked very confident from the first game.
Reddy just clubbed off the ball, goes down in a screaming heap, and Glenn Saville is called for the foul. It was the combined resources of Saville and Ballinger, I believe.
He pretty much ran right through him.
A lot of signs there from Sav. His 4th foul. He'll go and sit down on the bench. Ben Castle will check in. And Redditch with the ball. Off to Bailey. He appears to be limping now as well. To Crawford. Now Ronaldson working on Rampton. Redditch works hard to get free under the hoop and did a good job to wait for Ben Castle to get out of the way and come up with the points. Redditch gets his first field goal, in fact his 2nd field goal of the match. Now with 8 points on a season average of 21.
Let's see if this lineup for Wollongong can score. And Cortez has got a sense that they need him to be a little bit more aggressive.
Good D there from Matty Shanahan, worried him out of the points. Perth will get possession here with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left on the clock in this term. Margin has been cut to 11. It's been as big as 17. And after getting out of jail last night in Newcastle, where they were down 9 in the first overtime period, Perth are believing that they can win any match at the moment. And they edge a little closer here as Ronaldson goes to work on Rampton. Redditch keeps it alive. Ronaldson with another opportunity. Bodies up with Rampton, gets the double team, forced into a tough shot, never looked likely, and now Ben Castle leading the charge. Rampton goes down off the ball. Ben Castle stays with it, but came up empty as well. Now Bailey can't wheel in the long-range pass. Take their chances.
No kidding, man. Oh, what a missed opportunity. Had numbers. They didn't need a pass like that. David Bailey saying it's his ball, but oh, a missed opportunity.
Groves yet to add to his halftime tally. 2 minutes left, term number 3. Now Rampton taking Ronaldson on. A man on a mission, but couldn't finish it off. As Redditch gets up the floor quickly, Shanahan happy to take his time. Bailey. Now Crawford working on Castle. May have travelled. Ian Watts sees it that way. The Wildcats turn it over for the 20th time in the match. Wollongong has 12 turnovers.
Everybody's got 2 feet out there, but they've shot about 20 feet already. Those turnovers. Goodness. Unforced errors.
Groves top of the key against Bailey, giving away centimetres. Bailey reaches in, is called for the foul. His 3rd personal. Groves to the free throw line.
A poor shot and 2 straight turnovers. You know, you can only dodge so many bullets. Wollongong's going to get it together on the other end of the floor eventually. You know, if they can score on 2, I mean, when you're behind, everything's got to go well. They can score on 2 of those possessions. It's a 7-point game, 6-point game. Everything's going well. 3-pointer here, 3-point play there. And you're not going to get any of that if you're turning the rock over.
1:48 left on the clock until 3/4 time. Wildcats down by 11, but with possession. Given the way that they have shot the ball, they'll be happy to be this close at this stage.
Ian Watts telling the towel boys or the wipers to come out here. They need to show a little hustle and walked out onto the floor. Never going to get a Hawks jersey like that.
David Bailey brings the Wildcats back up the floor. Had a long conversation with Sean Redditch, who wants it now from Shanahan. Against Ballinger playing with 3 fouls. Redditch to Shanahan from close range. Shanahan adds the 2. His first field goal in the game.
He must have told Redditch, you need to start hooping. He looked a lot more aggressive. Looked like day and night on that possession.
Groves to Ballinger. Now Campbell getting away from Shanahan, attracting plenty of attention. Trying to work the ball to Rampton, I believe. Perth believe they should have the ball, but they're going to give it to Wollongong.
Another instance right there. Make Campbell finish.
Groves restarts. Here's Campbell with a tough one on the baseline, and Crawford gets the rebound. Shanahan with Redditch in support. Bailey, who is long overdue to hit a basket. It's a screen from Ronaldson. Feeds Redditch, working on Castle, and now Shanahan, who came up with the heroics last night, drags the Wildcats back to within 6 of Wollongong.
Well executed play. Very good. Sean Redditch makes the right decision.
For the second time in this term, Perth have scored 7 without reply as Rampton takes plenty of treatment and gets 2 free throws for his trouble.
I thought he walked first. They called a similar thing on Dylan Boucher. A lot of contact down there. No doubt it was a foul, but I was watching his feet. Yep, he shuffled those feet before he got fouled. Need to have one down for a pivot foot. Can't move them both at the same time without putting the ball on the floor. Making his free throws.
Wildcats come back up the floor, 8 points in arrears. Shanahan tries the long-range 3 again unsuccessfully. Ballinger kept it alive to Capehorn, harassed by Crawford. Now he feeds Groves, who's wide open, firing and coming up with a big 3. There's a stake in the heart of the Perth Wildcats fans as the lead balloons out to double figures once more.
Shanahan trying to get 2 for 1 there. Just a little short on that one.
Bailey against Groves. Now past Rampton, looking for Redditch. Ballinger got a piece of it. Redditch needs to get it off. Not enough time for him now, and that is after the event with Peter Crawford. And with 1 quarter to play, the Wollongong Hawks find themselves in front by double figures. It's Wollongong 74, Perth 63 here on Fox Sports.
Rampton again, just settling them down. Hitting those free throws every time Perth try and make a run. Big shot by Shanahan, but Rampton taking care of business on the line.
Nice cameo from Adam Capehorn in that period as well. He picked up 8 points out of the 21 that Wollongong came up with.
Keep talking. Offensively, don't get bogged down on one side of the court. So if you want to run any kind of ups or downs, run up front of like 11 or something. Get to the other side of the court first, or a dive. Then you'll get set. 3 outs and all that kind of shit. A couple of times you just made hands. I know. I've seen
The last time these two sides met, Adam Ballinger had 39 points and 13 rebounds here back on the 10th of December last year. Tonight, 1 of 3 from the field. He has 2 points and 3 fouls.
Hey, with the on ball, I want us to blue it with the little guy. Everybody else show aggressively. Why? You've got the little guy. All right? Who are you guarding at the moment? Shanahan. You're guarding Shanahan? All right, we'll stay wide on that. I want us to blue and go under hard, Adam. You have to go under hard. You've got the little guy. That way we can stay matched. When hey? Yeah, I reckon we do. What's happening with Bear? We're getting the double. We're getting the double. We're not filling the eye.
We're going to rotate.
All right, we're going to rotate out. But we got it. We're blueing the little guy. Offensively, I want to go hand downs or hand ups and stoppages. Bring parallels, right? Parallels.
You can tell by that timeout, the only thing that's really troubling Brendan and the Hawks is that on-ball screen. And David Bailey is giving them a little trouble turning the corner and finding guys for open looks. Notably, Matty Shanahan, who's stroking it.
Perth restart, final term from the Wollongong Entertainment Centre. The Hawks with an 11-point lead. Apart from a brief moment in the first period, the Hawks have had their noses in front as Redditch gets it to Bailey, looking for his first field goal, still can't get it to go. Ronaldson kept it alive and now gets it back from Peter Crawford. With Rampton on his back and double teamed by Saville, who knocks it out of court. Perth will have to reload.
That's the rule.
Crawford got it from Bailey, was looking for Ronaldson. Capehorn cut out the pass, gets Groves involved. Saville in support. Guarded by Shanahan. Finding some space to operate in. Ballinger against Redditch. Firing over the top. Ballinger can't complete it. And Crawford the rebound. Off to Bailey. Redditch in support. Shanahan up the floor quickly as well. The danger man from long range fills it up again.
Brendan, be hot. You've got to know where Matty Shanahan is. Damon Bailey's not trying to finish on those penetrations. He's trying to find their best shooter, and he's doing it.
10 assists now for Bailey. He leads that category in the game. Unfortunately for his team, he's none of 3 from the field. 5 on the shot clock for Glenn Saville as the 2 number 12s go at it. Groves looking to be the saviour. Right on the shot clock, comes up with a big play.
Don't be back into him, okay? You back in. Yeah, but not that heavy, okay? And all I'm going to do is call a double foul in situations, so don't block out so hard.
You can't block out now?
Not that hard, okay?
I didn't even hit him very hard.
Okay.
I was going forward.
Well, I didn't see the front arm, okay? I thought you both. Here we go.
That's a big shot. Big shot. Wollongong have been coming up with him. Capehorn's hit a couple. That time Cortez Groves, the shot clock winding down.
And 7 threes in the match for Cortez Groves, a career best in an NBL game for him. Shot clock to 5 as Shanahan is fouled by Groves. And 3 free throws for Matt Shanahan. He's 3 of 4 from the stripe so far in this game. And 5 of 6 on the season. A reliable free throw shooter, Matt Shanahan.
If you are a rookie, do not try to do that. Unless you got the referees' respect in this league after showing that you can play for a number of years. I have never seen a rookie get a call like that. It's embarrassing when you don't get the call and you throw Barik up there.
Shanahan has 1 more. Other side, mate.
What is up with the free throws? Perth have done a good job getting themselves to the line. They've been there 27 times tonight. And if you're going to shoot a horrible percentage, you're going to knock your free throws down.
Get out, mate, get out!
Groves against Shanahan. Got away with that first step again. This time can't finish it. Rogers grabs the board for Perth. A little more purpose about them as Shanahan comes marching back up the floor. Gets it to Boucher, who shortly was fouled. Took a knock to the back of the head, but getting nothing from Megan Thompson.
Look at great play by Matt Shanahan. And good hustle by Campbell. He just takes away a deuce.
Shanahan gets it from Bailey. 15 on the shot clock for Perth. Played a little over 2 minutes in this final term. Rogers against Rampton. Caporn getting involved as well. Shot clock now to 5 for the big man, Rogers. Feeds Shanahan, he fires the triple, can't get it to go. Rogers upstairs, keeps it alive to Redditch, and joining him, Boucher. But he was off balance, about to travel, had to give it up, and Wollongong somehow get the ball back. 9-point margin. Perth reeled that in 90 seconds in Newcastle last night as Groves loses the handle on the pass. And Ballinger will come back for Wollongong, replacing Rampton. Let's tell you about the match that's being played at the moment in Melbourne. The Tigers at three-quarter time getting back into the equation. Sydney leading by 9 after it was 15 at half-time. Remembering that Sydney stole a couple against Melbourne last season. Maybe the Tigers are working on some of that payback. Game Perth have coughed it up. 22, in fact 23 turnovers now. And only 13 turnovers from Wollongong as Caporn goes to Saville. Working on Redditch with 9 on the shot clock and knocking down the shot as well.
I think he thought about flopping, didn't want to put his team in a bad position, but Saville already had enough room. Knocked it down.
Shanahan to Redditch. Campbell reaching in, doing a good job. Pass for Boucher was a tough one to handle. Groves has Caporn and Saville in support. Going to need them all as well from close range. Saville is fouled. Just losing balance, slipping on the floor as well as he tried to use the left hand.
That's the only play Bailey had. Try and take a little bit of a flop. Perth were trying their best to commit a foul so they wouldn't get the 2 points. And the refs were letting it go because they knew that Wollongong had the advantage.
Saville 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Hawks 15 of 19 from the stripe so far in the match. Wollongong on the road to play 5 of their next 6 games away from home. Off to New Zealand next Saturday. Then away games in Adelaide, Cairns and Townsville, and then to Perth, and only 1 game at home in that mix against the Sydney Kings. Whereas Shanahan fires unsuccessfully. The Wildcats, will they get a chance to play some matches at home after this? The next 5 are back in Perth, and I'm sure the fans at Challenge will be looking forward to that. 4 minutes played in the final period here. 14 is the margin at the moment as Glenn Saville goes to work, this time off the front of the rim. Hawks have scored the last 5 points, and Perth not doing enough at the moment. As Redditch goes to work from close range, he adds the 2, now into double figures after having 4 at half-time. Caporn to Groves. Started by Shanahan. Game Wollongong patient. Shot clock to single numbers as Caporn gets it from Saville. Works on Crawford. Now Saville feeding Ballinger. He fires. It's been his night. 1 of 5 from the field. Braden Ballinger. An opportunity for Perth with Ronaldson working on Ballinger from close range. A 3-second violation is called on the Wildcats, and Scott Fisher almost collapses to the floor.
Wow.
They've used up all their luck last night, Steve, in Newcastle. Ronaldson getting some advice from Graham Clark as Bailey is called for the foul. His 4th personal. 2nd on Perth in this period.
And he's putting the pressure on Adam Caporn. But I think Adam Caporn gives the ball up too early. You know, it's one thing to give it up early in transition, but when they're about to get in their half-court stuff, he just looks uncomfortable carrying the ball. And if he's going to play the point, he needs to look more confident with it.
Groves looking for help. Shanahan getting a piece of it. 16 on the shot clock now for the Hawks. In a very good battle. Entertaining. Trust you are enjoying it here on Fox Sports. Don't forget, great matches coming up next week. We'll head to Adelaide 36ers entertain the Tigers. And the Tigers in action in Melbourne as well the following Saturday. As Shanahan dishes to Redditch. He was there for a long time, but adds the 2. 10-point buffer at the moment. Timeout call by the Wollongong Hawks with 6:38 to play. Somewhat nervous, Brendan Joyce, just wanting to make sure his players have this under control.
I'm sure a couple of adjustments, maybe some designated plays that they can run. Nice little quick hitter, get themselves a little confidence. Field goal. Definitely the tide is with Perth. They have missed some great opportunities where they could really be in this game, be like a 6 or a 5-point game.
You're playing your man defense pretty good. They'll stay in man this time here. I reckon they'll run that ISO for Sav coming in, but we'll be wise to that. You're switching at the right times. You know, you're calling your switches out. Those are looking good. It's good help on the on-ball screens. So down there, you're gonna run a motion 5.
Down there, we're running just a transition with the back screen with the forehand. Yep. So we're just going to do that, and if it's not on, he's going to step out, push me through.
Look, guys. 10 points, 6 minutes, and a lot of time. You can't defend you guys if you take care of the balls. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats.
Well, the Wildcats still in the frame here. 10-point ball game. 6:38 left on the clock. As I mentioned, we'll be in Adelaide next Wednesday, live and active, as the 36ers play the Tigers. Always a good matchup. Then on Saturday, the Tigers host the Townsville Crocodiles. 2 high-scoring, freewheeling teams that should be enjoyable as well. Live from 7:30 p.m. Eastern from the Cage in Melbourne. And just a reminder about NBL Wrap. It returns this Thursday. There has been a little confusion about the time. It will be 9 p.m. Eastern next Thursday. 9 p.m. Eastern next Thursday, and then it shall revert to a regular 7:30 p.m. time slot. Groves working into the paint, had 2 opportunities, couldn't finish it off, and the Wildcats, here they come again with Crawford making a beeline to the hoop. It's an 8-point ball game.
That was an impressive finish. You cutting through traffic, good strong move, and a great finish with the left. So the ball game, feel it.
Perth has scored the last 6 points here. Wollongong led by as many as 17 in the 3rd period. They have some work to do though. Capon fouled by Peter Crawford. He doesn't like it, but that is his 4th personal. 3rd on the Wildcats in this term.
Great anticipation that Bailey was in trouble. And Crawford with the block shot gets a bit of that shooting hand.
Well, the Wildcats still in some danger here of one of their top 10 all-time lowest field goal shooting percentages. In terms of field goals made, 24 field goals for them, 26 for the Hawks. Hasn't been pretty. Still up for grabs here. Half-time in Adelaide, the 36ers with a double-figure lead. 65-54 is the equation there. Farley has 15 for Adelaide. And Budnikov a game-high 16 for Cairns. Remembering Adelaide and Cairns at the moment, 2nd and 3rd on the ladder. 3 wins and 1 loss apiece. Only trailing Melbourne, who are 4-0. Townsville, who are 4-2. Here's Crawford lurking on the baseline. Did a good job to keep that alive. Shanahan with single numbers on the shot clock. Under pressure, couldn't get anything happening. And Rampton relieves the pressure to Matt Campbell. 5.5 minutes to play. Groves, guarded by Bailey, has Rampton working on Ronaldson. Needing help, Campbell provides it. Shot clock now to 6. Campbell a long way from home. Ballinger, not the man with a hot hand. Tried to get Rampton involved. Perth with numbers here. Crawford exploring. Goes to Redditch, who's naked, and he knocks down the shot. Redditch now with 6 points in this term alone after he had just 8 in the first 3 periods. Groves going to work KO 2 Perth players who couldn't get a whistle, and Ballinger gets the clean up too.
That has got to be a charge. Out of control, knocked 2 guys over. Man.
Scott Fisher understandably distressed by that lack of call. Bailey to Ronaldson against Rampton, and Ronaldson makes it tumble as well. The Bear gets his first score in the final term. Gain 8 the margin. Saville left all alone, gets plenty of time to measure it, and he knocks down the 3. His 5th of the game. 25 points. Only Groves with 27 has more.
I think half of Perth were in extended pressure and the other half weren't.
Here's Ronaldson again getting a good seal on Rampton, coming up with the 2 as well. Saville goes down off the ball. The referee's just in a little danger of losing control of this at the moment. Plenty happening off the ball. A lot of frustrated players out there at the moment. It's a 9-point ball game. Ballinger continues to come up empty. Redditch against Groves, gives it up to Bailey. He's gun shy at the moment. Redditch poleaxes Saville, and he's called for the foul.
You don't do that away from home. You know, they got a couple of plays where there was some contact, no call, crowd's a little uneasy. That's the second time he's been called for one of those screens, and it had already been switched. There's really no need for him to do it. That's as bad as throwing the ball away.
5th foul on Redditch as well. He's fouled out once already this season against the Tigers. As Ballinger goes to the bench for Wollongong, Troy Pillen checks in. Haven't seen a lot of Rogers down the stretch either. Perth going with Ronaldson in the middle at the moment. As Campbell, harassed by Crawford, gives it up to Pillen. Shot clock to single numbers now for Wollongong. Pillen against Shanahan. Likes his chances. Tough shot, but Troy Pillen makes it tumble. 5 in the game now for Troy Pillen. 11 the margin, a little over 3 to play. Here's Ronaldson against Rampton once more. Redditch against Pillen. Elevates, can't finish it though. Loose ball, Rampton gets after it. Secures the rebound for his team. He's into double figures in that category to lead it in the match. Saville loses control. Last touch by Perth. Timeout call. 2:51 left on the clock. 91-80 is the equation at the moment for the Wollongong Hawks.
A couple of missed opportunities by both teams. Hawks missing a couple of opportunities of blowing this game wide open and just giving Perth a sniff. And Perth, heaven knows, have missed a few opportunities to get back into the game, get it down to 5 or 6.
Score. You score down here. Whoever's taking it out, let Groves catch it there. Play him. Go trap that. All right. Make him pass back to this guy. Let this guy bring it up. Run along with him, and then look to get him there. The dribble rub in the middle with Groves and Pillen. Trap it. All right. And look to shoot the gap. So we're gonna take a few chances. We gotta make sure that we're hustling back and they pass it up ahead. Offensively, the transition works fine. When you transition again, we'll go inside. Make your cuts. Get open on the weak side. We're in here. Hit the guys wide open. Take a shot.
Well, the Wildcats still with a chance here. 2:51 to play. And what a feast of live action for Perth supporters, because straight after this game, we will take you to the A-League match live from Members Equity Stadium in Perth as the Glory play host to Sydney FC, the glamour team of the new A-League. And that is coming up immediately following this live NBL match. We go to live A-League. Stick around for that. As Wollongong try and put Perth away here. Rampton from close range couldn't finish it initially. Stays with it, knocks down Redditch and adds another 2. 13-point spread, less than 3 to play. It's a big ask now for the Wildcats. Whistle off the ball provided by Graham Clark. Foul's going to be called on Matt Campbell, I believe. Second team foul only on Wollongong in this term. Still David Bailey gets to hit a field goal after coming up with a game-high 31 points last night as Perth beat Hunter in double OT. Here's Shanahan, close enough to take the shot himself, deferred to Redditch. And now Redditch is fouled and will go to the free throw line.
I think a good pass, too. I don't think he thought confidently he was going to finish that thing because Rampton actually got a piece of it. Good heads-up play by Matthew Shanahan.
They've missed 10 free throws. They're down by 13 at the moment. Redditch has had a strong finish to the match. 7 points in this term after having just 8 in the first 3 quarters. Rampton gets it from Troy Pillen, and Rampton adds another 2, starting to build his numbers as well. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks for the Kiwi national. 14-point spread, although that is reduced with another 3-pointer. Groves gives it up to Troy Pillen. Crawford is 5 of 6 from long range after he connected on 6 threes last night. As Groves goes to work and he fills it up from long range. Cortez Groves now with 30 points in the match. His season high is 33, which came here on the 9th of September against the Breakers.
I think Saville, if he would have kept that one in bounds, would have had to flip it to Cortez. Might have done something a little more acrobatic than Sav's been doing on the breakaways.
Well, Groves has a career high of 36 in the NBL. 8 threes here tonight is his career best, I should say.
23, all right? Yes, we'll get a trap. Yeah, we'll get 1 trap only, all right? On. You want to go on? Now let's go on, all right? 23 on, and then we're matched in the zone, all right? 23 on then. Okay, everybody to the ball. Now, you got Ronaldson, and you got the other kid, Crawford, okay? Keep running and pushing it. If they double you, do what you're doing, compose. Tony, you've got to stay spaced off Troy. All right? On the board.
Like you said, Case, just looking at the stats of Saville and Groves, they are really carrying the load in the scoring. And, you know, they probably should. You know, I like the way that Saville has stepped up as a scorer, not just kind of flowing with the game. I think he's kind of forcing the issue a bit more, which he needs to do, because, you know, he can be unstoppable. And Groves is a scorer, so he's doing what he does best.
Here's Crawford appearing to be fouled. No, in fact, it was all ball, according to referee Ian Watts. Tip-in basket. Now pressure up the floor, but Crawford couldn't get a piece of it. Ronaldson with the last basket, but it's 12 the margin, 90 seconds to play. Pillen relieved of it by Shanahan, who's fouled by Glenn Saville. That's his 5th personal and the 4th team foul on Wollongong in this term.
Good foul. Just not allowing them to get anything. I'm saying that he wasn't a tenacious competitor before, but he's just that little extra now.
Shanahan went behind the back, came up empty. Here's Groves working on Ronaldson, who's called for the foul, and Cortez will get to the free throw line as Ronaldson picks up his 1st personal. 5th team foul on Perth in this final period. Groves 2 of 4 from the stripe, 8 threes from 12 attempts for Cortez Groves, which is the best shooting display we've seen all season in the NBL in terms of the number of threes hit in a single match.
That's why you're going out there.
We spoke about his strokes as the game got started. It looks so much better than the last time he was in Australia. And tonight, starting to pay off. Saw a preseason game against the Kings. He had 51. And Tell you what, there were about 10 threes in that one out of about 12 attempts.
A thriller going on at the cage in Melbourne as well. A 3-point buffer at the moment between Sydney and Melbourne. Check out the latest on Fox Sports News. There is Crawford trains another triple. 6 of 8 threes in the match for Peter Crawford. He was 6 of 13 in Newcastle last night. And he continues to carry on from last year, where he was top 10 in the league in three-point shooting at 40% on the season. One wondered how he was going to cope moving from Townsville, but he really has stepped up and now is a member of the Boomers squad. We have 61 seconds to play here. Wollongong with a 10-point lead at the moment. As I mentioned, Melbourne and Sydney going down to the wire, and check in with Fox Sports News to get all the latest scores, results and news from around the country. It's hard to know what to make of Perth at the moment, this early stage of the season without Matt Burston. David Bailey came in late. They've been all over the shop really, but let's see what Scott Fisher, former two-time MVP as a player, has got to say.
Up all over your man. Try and deny the inbounds. They're taking it out. They're going this way. They're just trying. The foul, or they just called timeout, didn't they? Okay. All right, same thing. Motion one or hawk. If they're in zone, we're in hawk. Motion one otherwise. You know, when you run it in, just come up and set the pick back here. All right? Whoever's high sets the pick, whoever's low sets the pick there. On hawk, on hawk. Good show. Hawk at it. If you're low on.
Well, Cortez Groves has certainly lit it up here. He has been the individual star with 31 points. Wollongong will get back to the 500 mark. 3 wins, 3 losses on the season. Perth will slip to 2 and 5. And they have played almost a quarter of their regular season, Perth, with just 2 wins. So plenty of work for them to do as Liam Rush is wide open for the triple. Little lap of honour jumps out. Rampton grabs the rebound. Number 12 for him in that category. And here is Groves again showing them some tricks against Shanahan. Finding a way past and then spoon-feeding Rampton for the finishing touches. So the Wildcats are going under here. Maybe the Perth Glory, who are coming up immediately following this match, can do a little better against Sydney FC as Reddick steps through and continues to add to his talent. Scored more points in this period than he did in the first 3 combined, and Peter Crawford forcing the issue again there against Matt Campbell to force the error. Unfortunately, his team trails by 12 with 30 seconds to play.